You are now watching On Point, a news and public affairs show from California State University, Northridge.
Hello everyone and welcome to On Point. I'm your host, Queiroz. This Saturday is Veterans Day. The holiday is meant to recognize the brave and valiant efforts of our country's soldiers from various different branches of the military. This comes from either Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, and Army. Even CSUN is joined in on the action of the celebrating our school's veterans. The Veterans Resource Center at the Student Union is hosting a week-long series of events celebrating students, veterans, and their service. One of these events is the opening house, which gives more information about the VRC and how to find valuable resources. This event is one of many ways for students to feel engaged and at home. You can hang out with fellow veterans, students, and even write a thank you card to a veteran who is recovering at a local hospital. More events to celebrate Veterans Day will happen throughout the week until November 9th. And today, we are joined by Mario Gutierrez, president of a student veterans organization at CSUN. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And Juan Miranda, an Army veteran.
Thanks for having us.
So, Mario, can you explain more about the Veterans Day?
Well, Veterans Day is a day that is kind of like no other. A lot of people seem to kind of take it as a day, where we're off again too, and or gets mixed up with other holidays. But Veterans Day is important for us to remember that it's for those who have decided to take the oath and serve the selfless, service.
And why it's important for people who are not in the military to understand and recognize this day?
I think that it is important for them to understand and recognize because the veteran community as a whole is already very, very small, and it keeps getting smaller, unfortunately. But that's what we're here for, and we're for each other.
And Juan, what about you? What do you think it's important for the veterans to pass? What about the mission and the message you pass with this date?
It's known that we're supported. I mean, for Veterans Day, I like seeing how united everyone becomes just to support us. I recently just finished my contract, and experiencing Veterans Day is going to be something special for me, and I'm going to be with the Dodgers because they're going to do something for the veterans, and
wow.
It's going to be pretty cool.
Amazing. And what else you used to do in other years about this date? What we can, when and where we can find you guys celebrating?
Oh man, so usually on Veterans Day, you get your free Applebee's, you get all these free meals, and obviously I'm gonna go out there and get some of that. Mm-hmm. That's what I like the most. But then the other thing too is you got to commemorate some of our veterans who passed away. Mm-hmm. And it's super important for them to not be forgotten. That's the whole thing. It shows us that we're supported, and that's something that I appreciate.
Mm-hmm. And you brought the veterans who passed away. We also have the Memorial Day, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you think they are related, but in a different way?
Yeah.
Which way we can? What are the difference?
Well, I believe that Memorial Day is more for those who have already passed. Mm-hmm. Veterans Day necessarily is not for those who have passed. It's those who have decided to take that leap, per se, into it.
And what about the families? They join?
Yeah, but that's a big thing too. Is we think Veterans Day about the veteran, but in reality, the family has been dealing with that service member, now veteran, and then they continue to face the fight that veterans face at home. Mm-hmm. So Veterans Day, I think, is also such a big thing for the moms, dads, husbands, and wives and kids that we have at home.
It's a huge sacrifice for them as well. Having their loved ones be far away overseas, it takes a lot of patience and love,
Yeah, absolutely.
So the support behind the scenes, and they are also celebrating with you, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
They come in and get all the Applebee's with us.
So, and what is your plan for this holiday this year?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, again, like I'm going to be over at Dodger Stadium. They're having something for the veterans. It's going to be the first time I go.
Ooh.
I'll let you guys know how it goes.
Oh yeah, are you excited?
Yeah, very excited. I've been warming up. But yeah.
For me, the Veterans Day is on the 11th, and the Marine Corps birthday is on the 10th. So it's a huge day for all Marines around the world. And I'm going to celebrate it with my younger brother. He's 4 years younger than me, and I feel like he's the driving purpose of a lot of my things I do. So it's really nice to get to celebrate with him as veterans.
Wow, incredible. Yeah. And what's your job? What was your job in the military?
I was an 0411, a maintenance management specialist. So I dealt with more of like 04 operations, logistics type things, maintenance, reporting.
And what about you, Juan?
I was a 92 Gulf. I was a cook, the greatest west side of the Mississippi. I'll let you know right now. I enjoyed it, 12 years.
And what were the benefits of military service?
So for one, it's going to be school. And then from there, the VA benefits, you know, we get paid to go to school, which is something amazing.
Luxury.
Yes. Having school paid for and then paying us is something that I highly appreciate. And also is the VA system. I mean, sometimes, you know, they get harped on just because of like how sometimes veterans get shooed away, but you know, you got to keep trying to get the help you need. And that's something big for veterans to understand. You know, reaching out for help doesn't make you weak, it only makes you stronger.
Yeah.
And we're not easy to deal with as a whole. So, you know, the patience that the VA does put forth is to be recognized, is for sure. And, you know, as far as your question, it's done a lot for me as a first generation American.
Wow.
It helped me legalize my family and my mom, and going to school here and allowing me to be here today is probably because of the military. Wow.
So how has the VA, the Veterans Affairs, they really helped you at school? Supported?
Yeah, in the beginning, I'll be honest, when I got back from Afghanistan, I mean, I felt like I wasn't being heard. And again, it's just all about having patience and trusting the system, trusting the process. I had a really strong support group behind me, and then once the VA started following through and setting me up with my appointments and medication and all that stuff, I mean, slowly I'm getting better. Yeah.
Wow. And let's talk about, Mario, about your role today here on the at CSUN. You're the president of
Yeah, I'm the president of the Student Veteran Organization. It's the only organization for student veterans by student veterans on campus. What that means is we really embrace the culture of like that trust and conformity that we have with our brothers when maybe we lived in the barracks or we were going through training. It's a special need to know, like only you will understand me and only I will understand you type of thing. So we really, really embrace that type of culture with the Student Veteran Organization.
And what's the difference between the organization with the Veterans Resource Center?
Oh, there's a big difference. The Veteran Resource Center, they are something that is implemented by CSUN, a really great resource. I totally would hope every veteran to at least go in there, say, hey, this is my name. They have resources from your disability claim. They put on their own events. They send out care packages type of thing for the veterans and for dependents. A lot of good stuff from them, yeah.
Oh, amazing. I would like to hold that to this point. But when we come back, we'll continue the discussion about the Veterans Day. Stay tuned. This is On Point.
Is it okay to call you Mom?
Of course you can.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Queiroz, and this is On Point. And we are back with Mario. Mario, thank you for your time here today.
Of course.
And let's go back a little when, what was your job in the military?
So, like I said, my job was in 0411. That's a maintenance management specialist. What a maintenance management specialist is a person that does a lot of reporting from lower level commodities, so like trucks, weaponry, radios. Essentially what we do is we itemize and figure out what is up, what is down, and we report it to the head honcho. So that really prepared me for construction management here. And so, you know, that's what I did.
And you said you're the first generation of Americans. How does it feel to be the son of an immigrant and to fight for the U.S. here?
It for sure is something that makes me proud, but I know it makes my people proud. I have from people from Mexico, my uncles and aunts that are still over there. They say, "Oh wow, like it's a big deal for them." And then for us, it's only opened opportunities, really, and was able to legalize my mom. That was probably the biggest thing that allowed me to serve my country, and then it felt like my country was like, let me take care of you, for because she took care of me. So that's what it really was a good opportunity for me.
And I'm pretty sure that she's really proud, and all your family are proud. And what led you to become a military?
Well, to be honest, I never thought I was going to be in the military. I always thought I wanted to be a lawyer or something. And I remember going through senior year and junior year, and people started putting up like, "Hey, I got accepted here and there. Where are you getting accepted to?" I got accepted to the USMC, and that that was my option, and I knew I couldn't take away from my parents' pocket, and so it was probably my one of my avenues that I had.
And what do you think your parents felt when you decided to go to the military?
I had to bring my recruiter home. Yeah, I had to bring my recruiter home. Sergeant Moret at the time came over to my house with Stefan Carrillo to tell them, and kind of like, it's not what you think. We're not going to throw him out into the desert or anything like that. They really helped, allowing them to be okay about it. But they were definitely they were off-put a little bit, but now very proud.
And what about nowadays? They celebrate the Veterans Day with you?
Oh yeah. My mom, she wears a lanyard every day. So like every time everybody asks her, "Hey, like, are you a Marine?" Or she's, "No, my two sons are a Marine." So if that, so she's very patriotic. She does a lot of the Marine Corps traditions with us because she's part of that life for us. Yeah.
Yeah, and how do you feel with your family, like celebrating this day with your family? How do you feel?
I feel honored and blessed because it feels like it's like a full circle moment where we all had to make a decision to face the hands, what was at hand, and we all came back, and we were able to be together again in a more comfortable manner.
And what led you to be the president today at CSUN about the organization of the veterans?
To be honest, is a continual wanting to do something. I guess the service that I longed to keep serving. And my brother coming 4 years behind me, it felt like every step that I completed, it was his turn. So it's only right for me to learn and take all the information I got, and the best way to store that information is by being involved in the organization and knowing the ins and outs.
And for those who served and who want to join you, where and how can they find you?
Well, they can find us on Instagram at CSUN Veterans. It's the SVO page, Student Veteran Organization page. We have a GroupMe account. We have a Discord. So please join. It's since COVID, it's essentially the new people that took over. Because of that long disconnect, it was hard to keep it going. But now we have found a good group of a few good people to help set this all up.
And you said as a student and veteran, your job in the military helped you in a way to study?
Yeah, no, it really did help me because they say, when you get out with all this experience, military experience, you have leadership. And I didn't realize how much leadership within itself is so important, especially with construction management. Leading a group of people that like-minded individuals, you got to manage and lead,
And everything you learned when you were serving.
Definitely prepared me. Got all my nervous jitters out and stuff like that. But I learned most of that while in the service.
And what about the background? This background in the military, how it influenced your personal life and the professional life as a student too?
Well, it has opened me up to a network of super go-getter people that care about me because just the simple fact that I'm a veteran.
So let's take a break. We're going to commercials now, and stay tuned. This is On Point.
I'm an actor in an ad reminding you that if you're high, just don't drive.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Queiroz, and this is On Point. And now coming back with our guest, Juan. Thank you for coming today again.
Thanks for having me.
And let's go back a little. And what was your role in the military?
In the military, I was a cook. I was a reservist. I've been a reservist for 12 years. All I did was just cook one side of the month, and that was it. But then we got activated to go to Afghanistan, and that was a whole nother thing.
And how did you feel over there?
So when I got to Afghanistan, I didn't cook at all. Once you go overseas, it doesn't really matter what job it is you have. They put you in whatever it is that they need. Now they needed people to be in charge of Class 1 and Class 3. Your Class 1 is food, your Class 3 is fuel. Now I have no idea about fuel. Like, I didn't know anything, but they had me in charge of fuel for the whole country. People had to report the numbers to me, and I didn't know what to do. But then people helped me out, and over time I started getting familiar with with fuel, started getting familiar with the processes, started working with contractors, and at that point I realized being a cook was totally irrelevant once you go overseas.
And why did you decide to go in the military?
So I joined the military kind of just to show the country how, like, my mom, she came here illegally, right? Now, I've always heard some stuff where people are like, I'm like an anchor baby. I got here, I got my citizenship just because my mom came here illegally. Now, my mom, she went ahead, she got her citizenship, and then I decided to join the military just to kind of go back to the people who would say, oh, you're just an anchor baby. It's like, actually, I just went overseas and came back from Afghanistan. What did you do? See what I'm saying? It's just like, wow. I don't want people to come at us, like, and by us, I mean, like first generation kids that were born, to pretty much bag on us, and it's not cool. I did this to kind of thank the country for getting my mom her citizenship, and kind of to standing up to that guy who's saying stuff like, oh, I'm just an anchor baby. It's like, I did my part. What did you do?
And how do you felt fighting for this country?
It was unreal. Being overseas, it's a very different environment. That's all I could say. Within the organization of the Army, leadership wasn't really the greatest, so we knew that we had to have each other.
Mm-hmm. And you said you went to Afghanistan. What were your struggles over there?
So I went to Afghanistan during the retrograde, which is when we started bringing everything back from out there. The main mission was to bring soldiers home and bring equipment home. We accomplished the mission. We got to Kuwait, and then I got a call saying, hey, we need you to go to another place to bring refugees in from Afghanistan. Now that's where I feel like the mission really started, because we started helping out refugees, and in the beginning it was I saw it as like a humanitarian mission for us to help the refugees out, but after a while they started almost demanding things from us, and so I kind of had to check them, and I needed support from my leadership, and it just wasn't there. And it's insane to say, but the leadership wasn't there. I myself was an NCO, so I had to look out for my soldiers, and it was cool for me to see how I mentored other people and seeing how successful they are now because of my leadership. If I see something failing, I'm going to go ahead and do my part and try to fix it.
So you didn't feel supported?
No, not at all.
And have you decided to go back to the military, or?
No, so the reason why I didn't re-enlist is just because in the beginning, fresh out of high school, I was kind of like a knucklehead, right? Meaning that I didn't really have a plan of what I wanted to do. And I was kind of not the greatest at school. As soon as I graduated, And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna join the military. I was at the mall. First thing to my left was the Army. I didn't do any research. I just went in. He said cook. All I heard was $8,000 and be a cook. I was like, oh, I'm sold. I'm surrounded by food and I get money. Why not? After, the military, they set me up to the career that I'm in today. Now, I'm in a career where I'm still dealing with the government, but I'm doing stuff that's not relevant to cooking at all. I worked for the biggest defense contracting companies in the States, and for them to see that I've been in the military just lets them know that I have a clean background.
And what your parents felt when you decided to enlist?
Ay, mijo. That's that's all she said. I told Mom, hey, Mom, I'm in the military now. And then, yeah, she started crying, typical Hispanic mom. But then I told her, Mom, I'm just a cook. I'm just going to do stuff here in the States once out of the month. She felt good about it. But then once I got called to go overseas, that's when it really hit her. She felt proud. We didn't have the best phone service out there, but at times when I would call her, she would always say, like, soy muy orgullosa de ti. And it was just real nice hearing that from my moms.
And what about today? And they celebrate with you, and what do you think they feel today?
Absolutely not. My mom does not celebrate Veterans Day with me. Reason being just because she always thought that I was in danger. I could kind of see her point of view with that. I mean, I'm her youngest son. I'm the consentido, which is a spoiled one. She's just like, yeah, now that you're done, wipe your hands clean, get out of there, you're good.
Thank you so much for sharing your story and your experience. And we're going to commercials now. But when we come back, we're continue the discussion with our two guests. So this is On Point. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to On Point. I'm your host, Queiroz, and we are back with our two guests. Thank you. And Juan, we talked before your process of enrolled in the military. Can you talk about your experience?
Yes, so I was at the mall. I thought, what am I doing with my life? All I did was hand dip ice cream. I only had enough money to pay rent and my gas and go to work. I only had like $40 to my name. So I thought, you know what, let me try the military out. So I walked out of the Macy's. I saw that the Army was the first thing to my left. I just went in. From there, they pretty much started asking me questions, and then they had a little practice ASVAB test, which we'll go over for a bit. But I ended up telling him I wanted to sign up. At first, it was scary when you see the uniforms and everything. When I was going to sit down, he had a rock on his desk, and for some reason, I just decided to move it. And he's like, put the rock back. I'm like, oh, here we go. Put the rock back. Started asking me questions. We ended up going to MEPS, doing the whole process where they check you out medically, check you out mentally to see if you're good. Then from there, once your paperwork lines up, then they ship you out to wherever you need to go.
And what about you, Mario?
For me, the Army hit me up and they were like, hey, you want to join? And I was like, what information you guys have? They're like, first of all, like, how much do you weigh? And I was like, I don't know. I'm in high school, man. I don't know. And they're like, are you more like a lineman or are you? And I was like, yeah, I'm more like a lineman build. They're like, oh, all right, man. Well, let us know if you want to join or, something like that. And that's how they kept it. And the Marines hit me up and they were like, hey, like, it's kind of like the same question. They want to see what, And they're like, oh, I'm like a lineman. He's like, come in tomorrow. Come in tomorrow and we'll work out. And every day he worked out with me, Sergeant Miranda at the time. And yeah, he essentially believed in me. It was a lot of work, but he got it done, and he recruited me.
And why did you decide to go to the Marine?
Mainly it was because of that interaction I had with the Army. The Army, not to bash him at all, man. I love my Army friends, especially the veterans, but they just didn't show me that love, man. It was just they just showed me. They weren't even in their uniforms or anything really. They were just like, come out and we'll show you what it's about. And they did, so. And
Juan, coming back to your experience, how did you feel in the Afghanistan?
Afghanistan was, honestly, it wasn't as scary as people put it out to be. We were out there with Romanians, Georgians. We had some Navy, some Marines out there. All of us pretty much got together, and all of us knew that we were fighting the same fight, right? When we decided to get up out of Afghanistan, I mean, all of us started working together. And it was the coolest thing seeing. I mean, I tried contacting friends and family, and at this point, you know, once you're overseas and your life's in danger, you start to see who the real ones are and who the real, like, and where people stand with you. You know, you have people saying, oh, I'm gonna write letters to you, I'm gonna send you packages, and you don't get anything. It hits deep.
True.
It hits deep. So it was a learning experience for me. And what's crazy is, for some reason, I would do it again. You know, like, it's the weirdest thing. Like, I'm glad I got out, but another deployment, for some reason, like, I would do it again.
And why don't you re-enlist?
I didn't want to re-enlist again just because of my leadership. The way how I saw things, higher ups only wanted to add stuff to their resume. You know what I mean? They wanted to look good for themselves, but didn't worry about the soldiers. Me being in the NCO for my squad, being in charge of them, I knew I had to take care of everyone. Even after the deployment, after getting out, you know, I still have my soldiers calling me, asking me how I'm doing, and they still tell me what they're doing, if they're still in school or not. So that lets me know that, you know, I can hang my cape and say, I went to Afghanistan, shut it down. My soldiers are taken care of. They got the right headspace. I'm good. I could wipe my hands. I'm set up with a good career now. Thank you, Army. I'm good. Sayonara.
And what about you, Mario? How was your relationship with the other soldiers, and you felt supported?
Yeah, I mean, it's I first started off with the 1st Law Enforcement Battalion. I don't think they exist nowadays, but it was the Law Enforcement Battalion at Camp Pendleton, and they needed an NCO to go on a deployment with 2nd Infantry Battalion, or 2-1, and they said, hey, this guy's gonna pick up corporal or sergeant, but he'll pick it up while he's on deployment. And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll bring him on. And I felt like the Marines and I was a new guy on the block, right? But those are in that short time that I deployed with them to like, we were over in Okinawa and doing the training over there. They took me in like I was with them since the beginning. So they were my brothers. Yeah, so it was great. So it really felt a good sense of home with them.
So it's like a family.
Oh yeah, big family.
And how did you feel with them, but far away?
Well, they were really the only thing I had. You know, I was brand new. I didn't really know that many people, and the little bit of people I did know were like a lifeline for me there, because I would have been alone in another country with a bunch of people I didn't train like from start to finish with, you know, in reality. But yeah, they were really implemental to my life. Yeah.
Thank you so much for both to sharing your experience, and I would like to say Happy Veterans Day. We appreciated your work, everything that you did for the country, and this is On Point.